Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I am your host Utkarsh Shukla and let me introduce you to my guest Rebecca. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Thanks Rebecca. So let's start with our very basic question. So can you please introduce our audience about yourself, like who you are, what work you do, your profession, or whatever you want to talk about to yourself?
Okay, so I'm Rebecca and I'm from Delhi and I'm a relationship coach. A lot of people in our country don't really have a concept of coaching and especially relationship coaching. But now, post-COVID, this has become something that's really important because all our emotions are just going all over the place and people are not really understanding what to do in their relationships because they just don't know what to do with themselves. That's why it also kind of gets inflicted on the people they have relationships with. And when I say relationships, it's not just like a romantic relationship, but it is any relationship. It is also a relationship with your own self. So I'm a relationship coach and I actually help people to understand where they're getting stuck in their relationship. That is like very specifically, I focus on that because I've had my own journey. I've had my own personal experience where, I faced that challenge of course, in my personal romantic relationship. And besides that, relationships here and there, a few things here and there, I think we all face those things. So I really wanted to put myself out there and help people to understand how things work. So yes, that's about me. And I'm from Delhi. And by qualification, I'm a fashion and textile merchandiser. And I also have a Fab India franchise store. And yes, that's me.
Amazing. I think when you have yourself justified that relationship coach doesn't mean only counseling the people or only counseling couples, right? It can be with your parents, with your family members, even with your friends or yourself, right? So I think that's the best thing you have justified that title, because most of the people, when they heard this term relationship coach, directly in our senses it comes like she would be a couples coach, right? Or married or a marriage maker coach or something like that, right? Only related to couples, correct? So I just wanted to ask you one question: how you end up here, like being into this profession, like relationship coach, or was there this because of your experience, as you mentioned, or what was the story behind it, if you can share?
Of course. So how my journey started was about 5 years ago, I'd say, because I was married and there was so many ups and downs, so many twists and turns, and I just could not understand what was going on. So I went through this phase where everything was like a miss. I could not really figure out what's happening, whether life was happening for me or all of it was happening against me. Like when you are in that frame of mind, you don't really understand. So that's when my journey started, where I attended like a few workshops here and there on forgiveness, on relationship with your own self. That's where I was introduced to this concept of actually building a relationship with your own self and being a whole person in yourself. And you don't really need someone to, complete you or anything. That's all bullshit. Like you are a complete person in your own, and like somebody just joins you in that journey. Like another complete person joins you in that journey, where you just build it all together. It's not that someone is completing you or anything. So that is what I was going through. And then, because of that, I also started my spiritual journey where, I was trying to understand how things function. And you go on the inside, like when outside is a complete mess, when it's a chaos, then you just go on the inside to actually understand what's happening. So that's where it started. And then this particular journey of actually helping people out, because it started 5 years ago, where I went on the inside to understand what I was all about. I took about 3 years to understand myself. I put myself together in a way, like I collected myself and my thoughts. And then 2 years ago, I finally thought that I would not say that I was completely ready, but then I was just in a way there to help people out. So 2 years ago, I started my page on Instagram, which was post-COVID, that's 2021. And I started my page on Instagram where I wanted people, to reach out to me so that I could just hear them out. Because I realized that, when I was going through, like so many ups and downs, I just wanted that one person who could just hear me out, not give me any gyan. I didn't want any advices, nothing, like at that point in time, you just want to be heard. You don't want that, you share something with someone and they're like, okay, this happens, that happens. And, like, especially in the Indian society, how women are, they're like, okay, hamare saath bhi hua tha at some point, so this is the only way of being, and like all that crap. You don't want to hear any of it. So I just wanted to be there for people where they could just come and talk to me. This was like a absolutely non-judgment space. And, they could just, like open up and talk about things. So that's where I started. But then, like after the second lockdown in 2021, when things came back to normal, like my life came back to normal, because like running a store is a full-time job. So I was completely, involved in that. And then, this page kind of, I had to like sacrifice here. I could not really keep up with it, I would say. Then, last year, August, September, when I was pretty sure that, like whatever I was going through in my relationship, like I finally decided that, this is not working out now. I was married for 7 years. And then that's when I decided that, okay, this is not working out. I really need to, get out of this, because we were not able to figure anything out, like what was going on. And I felt like we both wanted very different things from our lives, and nothing, like it just wasn't going right. And we were not the best version of ourselves, both of us, not just me. So that's where we decided that, okay, let's just finish this thing. We can be the best of friends, which we are today. Absolutely. There was nothing. It's just that as partners, we just didn't work out that way. Maybe it was not the right time or whatever. That's when I thought that, like I really want to get out there. And that's when I did my certification course. So I've done I'm a ICF certified relationship coach now. But, like, as you understand, this comes from that time where I really wanted to be there for people. But I think I was so divinely guided. There was something that was pushing me in this direction, where I was kind of told that, you really have to be here. Get a certification to back yourself up. There's so much that I learned from that course. That was like a 6-month long course. So now I'm like a PCC level, which is level 2 ICF certified coach. And yes, that's how it started.
I think that's an amazing journey. So you're on path, like 5 years back, like as you told, you were facing the issues, but there you didn't find anyone to share your thoughts with, right? Or to whom you can talk yourself out without getting their advices or without hearing their thoughts, right? So you really wanted to express yourself, but you didn't end up finding one. So now, like this is a very common problem. Everyone faces it rather sooner or later. Like everyone has to go through that phase, because that's what life is all about. And finding a solution from your own problems, I think that's the best thing that you could have done. Correct me if I'm wrong, because the best thing when you have gone through it, right? So you have faced you have faced that issue, and now trying to provide the solution to the other people. I think this is really recommendable, and kudos to you on doing such a great job and sharing your journey, because most of the people become private. They don't want to talk on these things when they have gone through this in their life. That's really an amazing journey, Rebecca. I really congratulate you on it. That's not the right word, but that should be said. Okay, so let's jump to our next question. So is there any dream right now for you? I know there will be a dream to help people, but I just wanted to hear from your side, like anything that you specifically want to achieve now.
So yeah, as you said, that help people, that's something that's very generic. What my dream is actually, I mean, it can be absolutely unrealistic and going all over the top, but then I am a very dreamy person. Like I'm big on sci-fi stuff, fiction, like movies. Like I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I'm a big Star Wars junkie. Like I live in that world which can be created. But at the same time, since I've been on that spiritual journey, I also feel that we all, as humans, we all have the power to create the kind of world that we want to create. It can actually be just all the good things, like if we actually unite as humans, as a species, if we get together and we make this happen. So my dream, honestly, here today is people having happy relationships, because everybody wants that. But I would say post-COVID, especially, this has happened because, that was the time that actually turned everybody upside down, right? So what I really want is, because people, love people. It's not that, like if there's a person who's coming to me discussing their problems, I have realized, like, thankfully, by the grace of God, I have, like good clients now. I've been coaching, and, like I'm a part of their journey where they're trying to understand themselves and where all of this is going. They really want to be with their partners, like nobody is a bad person. We are all good people. There's no one you can say that, okay, this person is not a good person. You're all good people, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that they're not able to figure it out because they don't understand their own selves. Like where I am today, if I say I completely understand who I am, I behaved a certain way because this is what was going on in my mind. That's why I behaved this way. So you can be conscious of your behavior. You can be conscious of your, like whatever it is that you do. You can be conscious of the words that come out of your mouth where you don't hurt the other person. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So my dream is for all of us to actually understand ourselves so well that we don't really screw up other people because we don't understand what we want.
Correct.
So like some of my clients, they come up to me and they're like, this person is just blowing hot and cold, and I really love them. I really want to be with them. I'm trying to support them. I'm trying to understand where they are coming from or whatever it is, but they don't understand what they're feeling, So like one client of mine, her problem was that her boyfriend, in this case it was a romantic relation. I'm specifically into romantic relationships because that's where people get stuck. But I also have clients who are also struggling with their other relationships, because relationships are just in general relationships. But like my target market, I would say, is people in romantic relationships who are stuck. So this girl, she tells me that her partner, her boyfriend, is basically he loves her very much, but like she's so nice and she's so sweet that he doesn't know what to do with her, and he feels like he would constantly keep hurting her. So that's why he withdraws himself, and he doesn't want, like, he's not present in the relationship emotionally, mentally. He's not present. Like physically he could be there, but emotionally he's not available because he constantly has this fear that he's going to hurt her. So the intention is very pure, but it's just because he's so screwed up in his head. That's why he's screwing her up also. She's like, I want to make this work, but then this guy is like, just all over the place. So that's my biggest dream, where we understand ourselves so well that we don't inflict our insecurities or our stupidities on our partner or the people, like the loved ones around us.
Correct. That's really a very basic thing, but the most common thing is in us right now, not able to communicate ourselves to others, and that can be done only by understanding ourselves, like what's going on in our head. When you are in a relationship with your partners or with your parents, you must know that you can talk yourself out to them. At the end, they are with you in this journey of your life. Correct. So that is where I think your role also comes into play, where you can tell them or help them in letting them know more about themselves and how they can communicate their thoughts in a more empathic way, or having more empathy in self by talking to others, like their words can't hurt the other people, right? That's really a great team, I think, and that can help other people around ourselves, right? Because understanding yourself is the first thing that everyone needs to do.
Absolutely. Yes, agreed.
So, third question, or I can say last question. So, any story you want to share from your life? I think you already shared 2-3 stories, but anything you want to talk on, or any story you want to share?
Not really a story, I'd say, but yeah, like I think from my experiences, like all the people that I've been dealing with, and who are a part of my life, even as my clients, um, there's one thing that's common, as I said, is that they all are trying to figure it out. They're all trying to work this out. And through social media, I think I really want to put this message out where we just start talking about things, where we start understanding that, being vulnerable is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You just have to see who you're being vulnerable with. Like there could be people who could take advantage of that. Of course, like you cannot just be, going out there and be vulnerable in front of anybody and everybody. But then, like few people, of course, we all have those handful of people who are very, very close to us. And just in case if someone has any kind of trust issues or anything where they just cannot open up to anyone in particular, then I think they should just seek some kind of professional help. Because, I've seen this, because I was a client that when I was going through all of this, that was the time when I had a life coach who actually guided me through all of this, to actually navigate through whatever it was that was going on. As I said, that I was attending workshops on forgiveness and all of these things. That's how it opened up my mind, and I understood and I realized. So I think it was so beautiful because I could really open up to her. That was that space. So even if you do 3 or 6 sessions with one person, you are so sorted in your head, and you keep unraveling your thoughts. Sometimes when they get entangled, you keep unraveling your thoughts, and where you just become a little sorted. So yeah, I think I don't really have a story, but then I really want to put this message out through your podcast that people should, actually start opening up and start talking about the things that people don't really talk about, because that's what it requires. That's it.
So one question, although I'm done with my questions, but one thing just from your answers I need to ask you, you mentioned that you are also on a spiritual journey, right? Few people, they relate the spiritual journey as a religious journey, although they are very different. And few people also had a spiritual journey as doing yoga and practicing those things, right? So can you just define a spiritual journey right now, what you mean by it?
Yes, of course. So see, yoga is I'm very regular with yoga. So 5 times a week, I have to do my yoga. Usually it's 6 times. Once a week I skip, maybe one day. But 5 times, definitely I do it. But meditation and all, I think with meditation, this has become the new fashion now, I'd say. Everybody's getting into meditation, stuff like that. Because outside world is so chaotic now, because of social media and technology. We are exposed to so many things.
Correct.
And we are over consuming this digital consumption that we don't even require. So our brain is actually over consuming all the information, and that's why it's so we are getting chaotic in our heads. So meditation is important, but for me, I would say, personally speaking, meditation is something that is not anything particular. For me, I'd say that you cannot define meditation. Meditation for me is actually where you can actually switch your thoughts off and you can actually do something. So for me, meditation can also be when you're sitting and painting and your mind is just in painting, in the moment. It's just being in the moment. It's not that you close you shut your eyes and then you're just sitting with your hands in a particular mudra and you're all of those things. For me, that's not meditation. I mean, for a lot of people this works, but we all have to find our tool. It's not that what works for me will also work for you, will also work for the third person, and what works for you must not necessarily work for me. But we all have to find our ways out. So meditation, I'll say, I have my days. That way, I have my ups and downs. So whatever it is that I feel like doing, because I'm a very intuitive person and I'm driven by my gut. So whatever it is that I feel like doing at that point in time, I just do it. So I have my days in between when I'm just painting. I'm not a great artist or anything, but I'm just painting because I just want to let out my emotions, whatever it is that I'm feeling, and I'm just completely in the moment. So that's what meditation is. But yoga, definitely, because that's a mix of mind, body, and soul. So yoga is a very, very important part of my life.
Correct. I think it definitely differs from person to person. One might love playing some sports, and that might give them that relief from their thoughts, and someone might like to sit at a particular place, watch a candid one. like this, and they can be healed by it. So it's completely differ from person to person, right? So it's not a particular one thing that you can say that yeah, you can follow this and it can be meditation for you. So at the end, you need to decide what's best for you or what suits you the best. Correct?
Yeah. And also not from person to person. I feel we also keep evolving as a
Yeah,
person. Like
correct, correct.
if I would think about myself,
Mhm.
when I started this journey, because that time it's tough to focus on one thing. So that time I was really big on doing guided meditations, because you have this voice talking to you and you just keep going with the flow and everything. Then came a time when I started journaling, so that was meditation for me, when I'm just journaling every day, like I'm writing whatever it is that I'm feeling. Then came a time when I started, like, as I said, I'm painting. Then came a time when I was like, okay, I want to sing now. So I had my few days when I'm just singing, I'm just doing my thing because it just gives me that peace.
Yeah.
So we also keep evolving as people. So yeah, there's no one particular meditation. Anything that brings you peace is meditation. That's what meditation is for me.
I think that's the best line on which we can end this podcast. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining in. If anyone wants to connect with her, I will add her ID or Instagram on the description. Okay, they can contact you there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having me, Utkarsh. Bye.